What's up, y'all? I'm going to do a video that is far different than anything Shane and I have done, and Shane's not here. And this more or less pertains to my life, and but it does have to do with Shane too, in our farm. So I'll get into that. Sometimes this is easy for me to tell people, sometimes it's not. I've certainly never said it to this many people or talked about it. On August 19th, 2019, our life was shattered. We lost our 3-year-old daughter, Reese Madeline Ainley, to an accident on our property involving water. And I say it that way because I don't dare utter the word that starts with a D. It still haunts me. There are lots of words and phrases and things that I avoid just because they're my triggers. And for that reason, I stay away from them. Reese was 3 years old and the prettiest, sweetest, most loving, living kid you have ever met in your life. And I know everybody says that about their own children, but there was something about my daughter that was magical. Even, I dare to say, angelic. She had this ability to find a stranger in the crowd that was hurting or sad or having a bad day and cheer them up. I mean, just go and hug their leg or something. She's just a little bitty thing with long blonde hair and the bluest eyes you've seen and the sweetest little voice. And there's so many stories of her doing that with people, almost to the point where it was odd to us that she would seek strangers out. But we kind of grew used to that. The loss of a child is the very worst thing on the planet that you could live through. And we've lived through it thus far. And some days you don't want to live through it. And that's something you just process. But you know, I didn't know if I would make this video or not, but there have been times in the other videos where things have come up and I felt like I couldn't mention about them or something. You know, I mentioned in one of the videos about the garden out front, and that is a garden that my wife put together for Reese. It sits right out in the front of our house, and then when people drive by they can see bright, pretty colors. You know, and then there's other things and stories that happen, and part of the reason we started farming, and I wanted to tell that I want people to know about her, and that's why I decided to make this video. And I'm gonna try to do it in one through without becoming too emotional. I feel like tonight is a night where I could talk about it. The rest of my family is at Disney, so it's just me here at the house. Had a long day on the farm, Matt and I, and I just felt compelled to say it. So that is our reality. We did lose our daughter, and it's been hell on earth. And there have been so many things that happened in our life after that have changed who we are and how we live. And in starting this farm was definitely one of those things. You know, probably watching the videos you would think, well, you know, these guys just out of the blue decided they were going to become farmers on a pretty decent sized scale. And that tragedy wasn't the reason that we started farming. We wanted to farm since we were kids. We worked on farms together since we were kids. When we were young, Shane and I always kind of worked on the same farms. And as we all grow older, we kind of grow apart, and when that tragedy happened, Shane has daughters himself, and he and I would make more contact and talk about things and kind of, you know, I guess you could say rekindle our friendship. And through that, we had just a chance meeting one day, and Shane and I sat down one time together and explained our little how everything went. But I feel like that video isn't done any justice until I tell you how we got there. And through a chance meeting one day, after, you know, Shane and I talking back and forth, and he always would check in on me, and that meant a lot to me. And we ran into each other, and anyway, we started talking about how we wanted to farm, and an idea grew into this. So I decided, you know, I didn't decide. When something like that happens to you in your life, you start to reevaluate everything: relationships, people, your paths, your goals, your dreams. And Reese lived life 100 miles an hour, and as pure as you could live life. And she did not waste a minute of any day. And man, she changed me. It's funny because I've told people growing up, I always pictured myself having a little girl with blonde hair and blue eyes that would call me daddy and follow me around. And God gave me that. And for 3.5 years I had that. And I wish it was longer. I'm so thankful that I had that. So when you're knocked down on the ground like that, and you think you can't get back up, you don't want to get back up, you're doing anything, and we're not back up. You know, my wife and I, my sons, we aren't fully back up. But I feel like we made it to our knees, and we're fighting. We're doing it, and we may never stand again. We may never make it back to our feet. But we're going to keep fighting from our knees, and from our knees, we'll try to take one foot to the ground, and if we got to crawl, we'll crawl. And that's really just part of who I am now. And I'm so thankful for the things that have happened since. We've started a nonprofit foundation in her name, the Reese Ainley Foundation, that we've been able to do works in our community with, and that has been so special for us and fulfilling to carry on her love, because she taught me what real love was. And Braxton is older, and obviously Braxton changed my life when he was born, but having a little girl just does something to a man. And she taught me how to love purely, taught me way more patience than I ever had, and she just loved 100%. And so that's what we try to do with her foundation. And I kind of got off on that, and I'll go back to that. But Shane and I's friendship was found again through that. Not that it was ever gone, but it opened up the door for more communication than we had previously. And then that's where we decided, you know, we would farm, or we talked about it. We would like to. And I said, I want to. And he said, if you decide to, let me know. And I thought to myself, and I talked to my wife, and I said, you know what? Win, lose, or draw, fail or not, I'm not going to feel like I've lived 100 miles an hour, 100% every day until I've tried farming like I want to do. And Reese showed me how to believe in myself, I guess. And sometimes on my Facebook I'll write about her, and one time some words came to me, and I put them down, and I'll never forget them because they were so true. But they said, I never knew me until I knew you. And that's the truth. I never knew who I could be. I became, once my daughter came in the world, and I was married, and I was living up to who I could be in finding those things, and I really thought that I had life figured out and by the horns, and it all crashed down around me, and here we are fighting from our knees, and maybe that's where we're the strongest. But she gave me the desire to live life to the fullest, and that's what I'll say. And that's when I decided I was going to make a go at chasing a dream, and that's what it's been, a dream my whole life. And I just so happen to have a friend that has the same dream, and he and I get to share that, and more importantly, our families get to live that life that I always envisioned. And it's different than I envisioned. We're not whole, but we're held together with the pieces we have as tight as you can be. And I'm thankful for her for showing me how to live it all, live it up. And I'll be able to thank her one day for that. And I thank God for giving me the courage to fight for my knees. And there's so many people to thank around us when it comes to the actual farm thing. I thank my friend Shane for believing that we could do it, and he trusts me with a lot of things, and I trust him with a lot of things, and it works. And I thank our families for backing us. I thank everybody that's involved, and I hope that somebody somewhere listens to this and says, even if I'm on the bottom, I can go up. Even if I'm on the ground, I can fight for my knees. But I just wanted to give you guys that backstory of why in the world two guys would ever get together and decide to jump into a heap of debt and gamble it every year. It's a dream. It's living a dream. And through the memory of my daughter and the things she taught me, I decided to chase that dream, and I'm glad that I had a friend that wanted to chase it with me. And I'm glad we can share that with you guys. Man, I would love to hear someday somebody said we started farming because we seen you guys said it was possible. That would be awesome to me. And it's not just about that. We like to show how things are done where we're at too. We're big fans of the farming channels, the same ones everybody is. Millennial Farmer, Cole the Corn Star, Larson Farms, you name it, we watch them. Triple R Farms, Dylan Joyce Farms, Wade Farms, Ethan Clark Farms, we watch him. So, and actually as we were getting started, we were watching these videos, and that gave us some inspiration. So you can find inspiration in so many places. You can do things. But moving forward, I'm gonna talk about Reese more. But I didn't want to say these odd things that nobody was gonna understand. And I was so torn whether to make a video and talk about it or not. I didn't want to be unfair to the farm and try to make this about something that it's not. But honestly, without her, there was never going to be a farm. So, I mean, in my heart, in my mind, I owe it to her and to God. And I wanted to fill you in And to be 100% honest with you, anytime I have the chance to say Reese Ainley, I'm going to do it. And I'm going to do it as many times as somebody will let me. And I'm going to say it as loud as I can from the highest mountaintop, because I want people to know who she is still. Who she was, who she is, and who she's always going to be. And what she means to our operation. And she was honestly the driving force behind it. And that's something probably nobody ever would have guessed. And I'm never going to be quiet about her. And I don't even know why I questioned making the video. And I'll close this all out by saying what I always say. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks for giving me some of your time, letting me tell the story of me and my family. I don't want to make this all about me. I still want everything to be about the farm, but I want you to know where I came from to start this farm. Not to say Shane and I didn't work for it, but without that event, Shane and I may not have had the conversations we had and decided to follow through with the idea. And again, I'm going to say her name. I'm going to say Reese Ainley every time I can. And at the end of the video, I'll play you a little clip of pictures of her, and it won't take you long to see what I'm talking about. Like I said, we have a foundation in her name. I'm not trying to fundraise. Don't take it that way, but I'd love for you to check it out. It's called the Reese Ainley Foundation. REESEAINLEY Foundation. The Reese Ainley Foundation. She has a Facebook page. That was something that we started during the tragedy. People gave us money, and we didn't know what to do with it. We didn't want to spend it, so we put it in an account. We started a nonprofit, and we do works in the community, and kind of what this has, we do scholarships, general donations. We're involved with St. Jude. We believe in St. Jude. But we like to do works of love in the name of Reese. And something that it has actually turned into that I wasn't really talking about a lot, but we are now, I guess, because people ask so many times. But one of our main things we try to do is if somebody in our area loses a young child, we try to be involved and help with their final expenses. Some of those words that have to do with final expenses I don't use or say because they're painful to me. But we like to be involved with that because I believe that is not a conversation or a worry that somebody should have to have when they're living the absolute worst thing that a human being could live. So that's what we're doing, and that's all I really know how to do is work and hustle, and I'm gonna do it in her name until I draw my last breath. And we just want to keep her little loving spirit alive, and I can't wait to see her again and thank her for showing me who I was and giving me the drive to do something that I dreamed about ever since I was a little kid. And again, we're thankful for our families. I'm thankful to a friend who decided to take a gamble on me, and I took a gamble on him, and we've put it to work. And you know, we're thankful to God for the opportunities, and again, everybody involved. And I'll go through some of those people as videos go, you know, our lenders and things like that have helped us. And man, I hope you guys just tag along, and I hope this gives you a little bit of clarity, maybe in some of the past videos or in the future videos, of what I might be talking about or we might be talking about. And I hope that you will tell Reese's story and help us keep her name alive and her spirit alive. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart for listening. I know it's a lengthy video. It's a tough thing to listen about or talk about. If you know anybody who is living this and needs someone to talk to, they can feel free to contact me. If they need somebody to talk to, if they've lived it and they've got advice for me, if anything, you know, any kind of life situation like that, talk to me. I don't know if I have the answers, but I can tell you what I'm doing, and whether it works or not, I mean, it's gotten me this far. And again, I'm going to wrap this up. It's getting lengthy. Thank you for listening. And we appreciate you guys watching. And we're still going to do our level best to show you things that we think that you might not get to see on other channels. And some stuff you will get to see on other channels. But, man, it's our life, and it's our passion. And we love to share it with everybody. And we appreciate you. And we hope we catch you on the next one. I'm not going to give you the whole subscribe and like rundown because it's not what this is about, but just a thank you, and hopefully this gives you some clarity on who we are and what we're doing, and moving forward. So thanks again, guys. I really appreciate it.